Hello, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net. Welcome to a source code walkthrough I've not done in a long time. And the topic is going to be how to build an equity curve with these links. Now, there's two source coding examples I got them from. So this is the first one. So you can go over to the blog and capture that headline again. Just go to my blog at quantlabs.net/blog. Look for an article called Build an Equity Curve with Python with these links. In this article, as it loads up, it goes over all the different ways to build out the necessities of a tear sheet that is used by investors for professional reasons to gauge if the so-called fund is worth investing into. Now, for my case, I've been over the last, well, let's call it last month, been running a newer strategy that is working very gangbusters in my mind. Let me just pull up my, let me show you what I'm referring to. Okay, so right now the strategy is running, and this is the latest. It's been running since 12 p.m. yesterday. So right now it's 9 a.m. So it's been running fairly close to 24-hour period. Now, usually when I show these this type of data, this really has no factor on the equity curve, but just so it's fairly new. Right now there's only 5 of the top 20 crypto coins that are actually barely profitable. But there was some instances last night where the markets have been pretty active, and you can see here. This is what I've been reporting: 89.87% win ratio, and up in 21 hours, up 12.16. So that's really, really good. So obviously that does not show from a cumulative point of view on how this strategy is performing. So this is where we need this equity curve. So I'm going to walk you through the code, but the idea here is to say, let's say if we start at $100, how much if we waited out till January 2010, all the way out to whatever this is, July, August, September timeframe, how much would that $100 investment grow with that strategy? So this is your equity curve that we refer to. That's what most people are looking for. One of the other ones people look for are the overall monthly returns, and this is not used so much, but the histogram of the daily returns over that time period, which is 1,000 days or trading days. So that's what this article explains. And now we are going to show you the code, because everybody likes the code. All right, so here's the code. And so that's the code right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it. So I have to go to another directory for that. So we have a new directory called Equity Curve, which I just developed. This is the source code right here. So I'm just going to run it. I made some slight modifications with the plots to get it working for my environment. So, okay. So we want Python 3 equity curve. So it's going to run. It's going to print out some statements. So I'll show you the exact source code. I'll put it up on the blog as well. It takes a while because it's going through 1,000 data points. This is my version of the same, what I just showed you, just as I said, slightly modified. Now these are all random numbers, so so I'll go through this. All right, so here's the code. So this is the resource when you come into this website here that I just showed you. This is a very good website, actually, Python for Finance. He's got 2 tutorials, so this is the first one. So credit to him, obviously. And then we have the second one, which is the GitHub. So what we're focusing on is the FFN package, Python package that I've never worked with, but I've done the usual pip install and got that working. You get all the instructions at this link right here to get it installed. It's standard Python installation. So off we go with the resources and the packages we need. We need pandas, NumPy, and this new FFN. We're also using this data reader, but we're not. It's traditionally been used in the world of Yahoo. And last year when Yahoo decided to break the resources for downloading, Yahoo's no longer used, or not as much, or I don't know. I don't use it anymore. I just use the exchanges directly when you get your account set up. Again, I kind of go over that in the course that we're kind of got underway anyways. So then we have the matplotlib PLT plot, PLT reference right here. And then we have the number of days are set in the periods that we're analyzing. Right here, we are randomly generating the number of days on the width and low range of each data point that we're going to generate, which is basically what we're doing here. Just see if we can find it. If I was to show you the date range, that would be a sample return. That's what it's supposed to be. So what we're doing here is we're setting the data frame with a new column called returns of these randomly generated numbers, 1,000 of them, between the ranges 0 and 0.2, negative or positive, as far as I know. And then we create an index from that within the data frame, and we start our day period on January 1st, 2010, and then we are using a new column that we define here from the data range, or sorry, the data array of the random returns, and we call it returns in the column. So that's how that gets defined. Now what we also need to do is create a new column called equity. So equity is really, if we're starting with $1,000, let's say, and we have a strategy that's performing a daily set of sample and random returns, which is generated here in the data, we accumulate it summary-wise plus the starting point of our seed capital, which is $1,000. And then, of course, we need to set in that data frame the range, the very first column, 0, to be set at 1,000. So that's what that does. Okay, so now we are moving into the FFN functionality here. So now we have a new equity column generated from here by accumulating the returns plus the starting seeding capital of $1,000. We can now calculate the stats, and from there we can show if there's any plots at all right here or here, but I'm not doing that. So this is something I need you to understand. When it comes to matplotlib, I believe this function, or sorry, this package, the FFN, leverages off of the plotting, leverages off of matplotlib. So you can, luckily I've found a way to define your plot here and then be able to, when you generate plots like here, you can take the performance and plot it, and then you can show it by calling plt.show, which is really making a direct reference back to matplotlib pie plot reference here. So that's what this will do. So if you want to show that, you can do that. So let me just see if I can do that here. If I rerun this. So let's see if this will work. So we know the last time we ran it, it didn't generate a plot on the console or the display. So let's see if this works. Okay. Come on, baby. There you go. So here's the plotted time series. So we started at $1,000. We had, and again, this is randomly generated. It goes down with negative returns, comes back, and we have a losing strategy. But the point is that we wanted to show the plot. So now it'll start. Okay. So if I just remark that out or comment it out, we've removed that. But at the same time, I'll move this one as well. Now what we can do with the same reference, instead of showing it on the console or display, now again, you can do the same thing with, if you were running this in the Jupyter project, these are the references here. This link that I showed you at the get-go, showed, and it gives instructions on that for these two lines here. So you can remark these out or uncomment them when you're running them and display them inline in the Python Jupyter project in your editor, with the Jupyter editor or notebook. Okay, so that's fine. Now here is the interesting one, this one right here. So now instead of displaying on the console, we can display it on the create a file. So we call it image1.png. And then we can display the plot here, and then we can also display the monthly returns. So that's what we got here. Show you. So this is what we got here. All of these stats here are all courtesy of these two lines. This one's the important one. Display monthly returns. That's what a lot of investors will look for right here, because they want to see the performance of your strategy over the number of years that you're testing this. I think if you're doing this for professional reasons, 3 years is standard. So you have each month for each year, and then you show the average return or cumulative return for each of the month for those 3 years. That's a standard when it comes to making a judgment on the overall performance of the strategy for investment purposes. In my case, I've got the two strategies that are going to start doing this probably the next week or so, or next few days. And then from there, I'll be showing this versus what I've been showing for the last number of weeks. The rate of change for the day, as well as the daily return. But the daily return will be put in here, spanned over 30 days or whatever's in a month for that month. Okay, so we can do that. And then we can also plot the drawdowns. Again, that's important to show right here. The max and average number of day drawdowns you have. Then we can plot the histograms I showed you. So let me just show you all that fun stuff. So again, we have the stats, yearly Sharpe, which is kind of what the industry looks at as terms of performance, and then the look back returns. Okay, so let me just show you all that. So here's the average returns, monthly returns. There's some other stats that most people look for: the Sharpe ratio, mean volume, skew kurtosis, best and worst months, annualized returns, But And then, as I said, as we wrap up here, we have now two new images. So if I do a PNG display, I can show you the first one, which is this that we showed earlier. Again, this is randomized data. Doesn't show anything. Let me rerun it. Let's see if this. Save that and then rerun it. I'm hoping it works. So we're going to generate new data, new random data, and new plots. Worked last night, but as I've explained in this walkthrough, it should hopefully work. Come on, buddy. This takes a while. Okay, so here comes the stats. All right, so let's hope that we have some data now. Okay, so the first one is, so like I can see we have data there. There should be a plot. It should not be blank. Come on. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's our first plot. This looks a lot better. Again, it's randomly generated. So that's the supposed equity price series. The next one is the histogram of daily returns of that strategy performance with the 1,000 periods. So here you go. So you can clearly see these are daily returns over the last number of days, or a number of thousand days. So that's pretty well it. Everything's working. Now, in here, I've also put in some extra code. This one's not as important since I got the first one working, but you can get the reference right here from this Stack Overflow. Again, I made references to this Yahoo. I try to have it read the CSV that I've generated from my Exchange. I show people how to do that through the Python Infrastructure Data course, which we're going to do next week. Again, starting assets under management of 1 million, number of shares, P&L, our ending assets under management, which we set up with the starting one. Then what we do, it's pretty simple. In here, I used to put the number of shares, but we're just assuming one share, just really the price, the ending assets under management, and then we shift them and blah, blah, blah. We calculate our daily return on the P&L by comparing the close, the current close, and the previous one using the shift, moving it one. I think the comments kind of explain it. And then we also have the ending assets under management again, which is the previous assets under management here, plus the current P&L calculated here. Print out the entire data frame, because do realize this is a data frame as defined by here, and it returns from the CSV here, the comma separated value, and puts it into this data frame called F1. From there, if you were to try to plot it, all kinds of weird things happen, so just leave it at that. All right, so that's pretty well it. Let me see if there's been any questions or anything, or something. Yeah. I have to get a second monitor running on this. Oh, we got one person watching. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I will assume we can end it now. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to end it. And thanks for watching. If you got any comments, just type them up. I'll try to get back to you. I never promise, because if it's beyond a day, chances are I won't get back to you. Also, as I said, I've been making these references to this current course I've been going on about, if you come into the into my quantlabs.net store, so you can come anywhere under the Quant Labs. You will see a link called Store, and what I'm referring to is a course currently priced at this amount. This course right here, Python 3 Infrastructure Building Block course, will show you how to build out an entire primitive trading platform. So we have all the details here, and you can subscribe or buy now and get in on the live current one. We're on our second module, which is right here, Python Tools Methodology. We've already done this one, so it's never too late to get into it. And do realize that they are being recorded, each session, Mondays and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Standard Time. Once it's complete in 6-7 weeks, I will be probably charging 3 times the price, maybe even 4 times, because of the value of it. People are getting a lot of value out of it, so that shall be that. And that ends the overall tutorial for today. Hopefully you liked it. Over and out.